Hello YouTube, Josh here for DaVinci Yu-Gi-Oh! Today I'm going to be giving a deck profile of a deck I've been working on for a while, Inzektors. This is an Inzektor Turbo, so of course there are a lot of cards to speed it up, but I feel that this is kind of a standard build, I guess. So let me just go ahead and get started. First with the monsters, of course. First is Triple Inzektor Centipede. He's kind of the main searcher nowadays. If you don't know what he does, all Inzektors can equip another Inzektor from your hand or your graveyard to them, and they get effects. When a card equipped to a Centipede is sent to the graveyard, you search any one Inzektor card from your deck. So, he's a basic searcher, level 3, 1600. Three of him. Then two of the ladybugs. Ladybug is that while it's equipped to an Inzektor, you can ditch it to increase another Inzektor's level by up to 2. So it lets you manipulate levels. Get up to your main level 3 guys up to level 5 easy. Mostly it serves as a level increaser for Xyz plays, or just a basic ditch to get off the search effect of Centipede. Next up, all of the one-ofs. One Hornet, one Dragonfly, one Hopper, one Gigamantis. There are different reasons you play one of each of these. These two. First, you play one because they're limited. Hornet, while he's equipped to any Inzektor, you can ditch him to destroy one card on the field. So of course that's very good. Then Dragonfly, when a card equipped to him is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Inzektor. So the main reason these are limited is they work so well in tandem with each other, equipping Hornet to Dragonfly, ditching, destroying one card, and then special summoning another one. They're still good, and they still work at one, but you have to get to it. Next, you play one of these, the Gigamantis and the Hopper, because they kind of only work well in one. Hopper is kind of irrelevant. It's just a big 17. While it's equipped to an Inzektor, you can detach it, and that Inzektor can attack directly. So you can sometimes get off the effect just for the search effect of Centipede or Dragonfly. And Gigamantis, you can equip it from your hand, and while it's equipped to any Inzektor, its base attack becomes 2400, so that becomes very useful in pumping these guys up. And then when Gigamantis is sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon another Inzektor from the graveyard, but only while he's equipped to another Inzektor. So it's kind of a recurring ability. Like I said, these two kind of only work well in one. That's all for the Inzektor part. Next up is the support. In 3 card Cards, like I said, this is a turbo variant, so you do need to try and get your key cards very quickly. Basically your 2 key cards being Hornet and Dragonfly. You want to try and get those as fast as you can, because then you can pull off the crazy combos that got those cards limited. Card works well, yeah, at 3, just as the as a turbo thing. Next up is the new card, Mathematician. Mathematician works very well when he's normal summon. You get to ditch a level 4 or lower monster from your deck to the graveyard. Normally you're going to be ditching the Inzektor Hornet to use later. Also, later on he floats well. You get to draw a card when he's destroyed by battle. It works a lot better than Armageddon Knight. Him having 100 attack more, he floats for another card, and he's level 3, so he works out with Xyz plays. And then after that, just one Thunder King. I'm maining it because, to stop other people. Should you not be able to draw into anything, it does work as a stall. I mean, it does kind of hurt you when you can't search with your centipedes or anything else. But it is a very good card. Most of the times you'll end up leaving your opponent to stall. They'll have to get over it. Creates a problem for them, and they normally end up having to try and attack over it in some way, or just bait it out with special summon, and then you tribute this to get rid of it. Then you can go ahead and do your searches. That's all for the monsters. Next up, the spells. 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. You can play 3. I was playing 3, but I took one out in favor of a 3rd Mathematician. You really do want to hit Fiendish Chains and everything, and other troublesome back row, but 2 is working fine. Then 2 Power Dualities. You're not always going to want to special summon the first turn. Like I said, I had this at 3, but I took it out for the Mathematician. It does work at 2 because a lot of the times, first time, you just will draw the best hand ever, and Duality will not help. you won't need it. In fact, you'd rather have something else a lot more useful. So choose a decent number. One Foolish Burial, of course, just to ditch the Hornet. Just an easy way. Only one Soul Charge. You can play multiples, of course, but I'm finding one is a decent number. Mostly I only have one, but I like it because it does help you get things, but I don't like the fact that I will have to skip my battle phase or that I'll have to take life point damage for using it. I may play around with a few more copies in the future if it doesn't get hit or anything. Then 3 Upstart Golems, like I said, this is just another turbo aspect to it. Then one of the Inzektor Sword. The Inzektor Sword, you can only equip it to an Inzektor, they gain 800, and then when this is sent to a graveyard, you add another Inzektor from your graveyard to your hand. It helps in the OTK that you can do. I won't explain that because I'm sure you all know it's all been done. But of course, just the one sword for that. That's all the spells. Now the traps, probably the heftiest portion. First of all, for one of traps, just compulsory solemn warning, bottomless trap hole, all very self-explanatory, all staples. Stop summons, chainable, bounce pesky stuff, and banish other stuff. Everything else is, that's all. Then 2 Call of the Haunteds. I had it at 3, but again, another thing I cut for 3rd Mathematician, because at first I wasn't playing it, and it's just one of those things that you can work. It still works, because should you have one face down, and should your opponent kill a centipede and phase, you can Call of the Haunted, and then during your turn you can use its effect to add a Dragonfly, and then normal summon the Dragonfly, get your plays going from there. Something interesting I also do, once I have a Dragonfly and a Centipede on board, I get some nice advantage off of that. Overlay into Leviathan Dragon, detach the Dragonfly, and then call the Haunted the Dragonfly back. And basically rinse and repeat. From here on out, it's all triple of the traps, so triple Reckless Greed. Again, just another turbo aspect to it. Of course, it works best activating all 3 or 2 at the same time, but sometimes I kind of, not forced to, but sometimes I just have to in order to maintain it, in order to maintain some sort of advantage or get going. And then 3 Chains after that. This card is very important. I played Mirror Match the other day, and this was a key card for both of us. At this point, there's just a lot of effects that you just kind of have to stop. Sometimes also during your popping fits with Hornet, sometimes you have to destroy one of your own things because your opponent runs out of stuff. So it's a nice little, it's kind of nice that it ends up floating. Same with Call. And then after this, 3 Threatening Roars to stall off your opponent, to help you get your plays going. Of course, going Duality card, setting a Threatening Roar. That works out very well. Being able to get some advantage, stall, and then next turn keep gaining advantage or make your plays. That's all for the traps, and for the main deck, of course, 40 cards, keeping it the minimum, as it is a turbo variant. Now onto the extra deck. 1 Gachi Gachi. You don't really make this all that much, but should your cards ever get Veilered, or you're just drawing the worst hand and you're drawing ladybugs and nothing else, you can make this just for some defense. You could also go with Daigusto Phoenix for no, don't do that. This works well for me. There's another rank too, maybe the Armored Kappa, I believe it is, but just something defensive should your plays not go the way you like. Then 1 Fortune Tune. Fortune Tune is a very good card. It's very defensive. Can't be destroyed by card effects, and if it would be destroyed, you detach material. Also, you gain 500 during each of your standby phases, so more than likely it's going to stay around a minimum 2 turns. So then it's essentially a free 1,000 life points. And it's got a really nice effect that when it's destroyed, you can return it as well as 2 level 3 monsters from your graveyard back to the deck. So it resets itself. That's really nice, being able to reset. Going into this with, should you ever need to, going into this with Centipede Dragonfly, and then when you get a free 1,000, it sticks around for a while. When it finally gets destroyed, you recycle the Dragonfly and the Centipede. Next up, 1 Tim Tempo. I think it's still good. Still helps out. You know, just very anti-XCs, and then it can get pretty big. Hardly ever use it, but it's there. One wind-up Zen mains, of course, for defensive purposes. One mech-equipped engineer. This is probably what you'll end up using a lot more often. A lot of the times you can end your turn. A lot of the times I found myself ending my turn with a 2400 dragonfly and 2 centipedes. And then after attacking in main phase 2, I make this with the 2 centipedes, and this will protect the dragonfly for next turn, and then I can just keep going from there. Very nice. One Leviar the Sea Dragon, in case anything gets banished. Since you are only playing one copy of Hornet, one copy of Dragonfly, you just need to have this in case that does get banished, because that ends up hurting you a lot. Then one Giga Brilliant. This is for making big plays. If you end up having a lot of large things, a lot of stuff left over, you can go ahead and attach, and everything gets pumped up by 300, and then that can end up making something. One Leviathan Dragon. You all know what my Leviathan Dragon looks like. I did mention that sometimes I make plays with Call the Haunted, getting the effects of Dragonfly Centipede, overlaying into this detaching Dragonfly, Call the Haunted Dragonfly, and then rinse and repeat. Only one Leviathan Dragon, because that's kind of all that's useful at the moment. Then the Acid Golem for what Leviathan Dragon can't do, just the instant 3000 and can attack your opponent directly. If you absolutely can make game and you need to with 3000, then by all means go for this. That's all for rank 3s. Then just kind of useful rank 4s that you can use. One Gaga Cowboy, one Lavalval Chain to should you end up ever with Ladybug, you can get up to this. The Cowboy, the Chain, ditch the for the burn, ditch Hornet, my Stroke for defense, Key Beetle because they're all dark and you can make some plays with it. One Crazy Box because you side into Eradicator. It's just very big if you ever get into the situation with Ladybug and you need that. And then one Shark Fortress for making stuff attack twice because you can get up to level 5s. Everything else aside from the rank 3s is not very necessary. In this deck I barely ever use the extra deck. The only things in the extra deck that I ever use are these two. Because they're the most useful just for, like I said, the combo with 2 combos that I explained for this. Really, that's all you ever need. You can get away with running these 2 and then fusions in the rest of your extra deck. But all of this stuff is here just in case you should ever be pushed into a corner and you need to make something like that. So anyway, that has been my Inzektor deck profile for the current format here in 2014. Go ahead and let me know what you think about it. If you have any suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you have anything else you want to say, just go ahead. I'll definitely read your comments. This is what I've been playing recently. I'm definitely going to play around a bit more with it. But it really does work out very well as a turbo variant, just kind of a mad rush to get these 2 cards. So anyway, if you enjoyed the content, please remember to subscribe. If you want to show your support, please remember to like and to comment. And this has been Josh for DaVinci Yu-Gi-Oh! Signing out.